My sound, is it okay? Do I sound all right?
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, well, this is Dr. Kevin Connors, just continuing in our functional medicine series. And today we're going to be talking about dirty electricity. And I have a great guest today, BD Erickson from Satic Company, a product that we sell in our store, and it's just been fantastic. We've tested it with meters. Very excited about it. We use it in our house. We use it in our office. So, BD, thank you for being on the Zoom call today and sharing your time with us today.
You're certainly welcome. It's my pleasure.
I think there's some confusion. I know everybody has heard a lot about EMFs and the dangers of EMFs, but I'd like to do a few of these calls if I can have you back another time, I hope. But today I want to just concentrate on this concept of dirty electricity. I think that's kind of new to people. Can you explain what that is?
I'm happy to do my best. It is kind of a bit of a moving target, and in some cases, it depends on whom you ask. What's dirty electricity? To maybe a surge suppression company like Belkin, I mean, we all own a myriad of Belkin little power strips or surge protectors in our home to protect from surges. So maybe if you asked one of them, Dr. Commerce, they would say, higher voltage, voltage that's outside a set parameter. Maybe they would say that's dirty electricity. Hard to, argue that. To a stereo company that wants, that crisp audio sound for your audio file, maybe they would say that tick or pop in the speakers, which is distortion, maybe that's dirty electricity. Hard to argue that. I think for us, what we're really talking about is dirty electricity that might be harmful to a bioorganism, harmful to my plants, harmful to my pets, harmful to my child or myself. And
so I have a slide here that I just pulled off the internet. Is this kind of a good rendition of what you're talking about?
That is. So what we see here on the left, we see a clean sine wave. And so you've got two waves. You have your voltage wave, you have your amperage wave. And in this picture, we only see one. That's okay because we're going to assume that they're in phase. They're so close together that it looks like one. That's actually what you want. On the right, we see these little peaks and valleys that almost look like for a little caterpillar. And those are transients. Those are abnormalities, distortion, and harmonics on the electrical wave. Now, because of the FDA, I certainly want to be careful about what I say as harmful to a person. But I'll tell you what, Dr. Connors, a myriad of information has been written about dairy cows. Dairy cows do not like this form of dirty electricity. Really, this 900 hertz, this distortion on electrical lines, it is well documented to affect their production of milk, which could be mood, at some level, and quality of milk. I was on a Hooterite dairy not too long ago making a joke about the electric fence. Everybody likes to kind of horseplay for some reason around the electrical fence, or at least men do, pretend to push your buddy into it. And we'd made a joke that a dairy cow, how he would respond. And this dairy owner said, no, dairy cows never get stung by it. Never. Why not? They don't go near it. They don't like it. They can absolutely feel it within a couple of meters and move away. They're very sensitive. And much has been written about the negative effects of this dirty electricity on dairy cows. Sure. Also, greenhouses. A tremendous amount has been written about big succulent strawberries, big succulent tomatoes, that you get a better product if you're not exposing these bioorganisms to dirty electricity. So for me, it would track. I'm not a cow or strawberry specifically. I'm genetic, I'm bio, I'm extremely complex, I'm extremely sensitive. If it's measurably bad, measurably harmful to these other things, as a person, as a clear thinker, it just tracks for me as a person making my own health decisions, that it wouldn't be good for me, that it would affect me. Sure. In that same way.
Well, our practice is mainly cancer and some chronic Lyme patients. They're all knowledgeable about EMFs and the possibility of that being at least a partaker in their cancer. And certainly most of my chronic Lyme patients are very sensitive to EMFs and dirty electricity. We are all exposed to it. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We live in an electronic world. We all have electrical lines coursing through our homes and our offices. One of the things I remember as a youth, I'm in my 40s, in town, in an automobile, you listen to either a cassette, right? Or maybe a CD if you're lucky, and the radio.
Right.
And in town, you got really great AM or FM reception. Once you got on a road trip and you got out of town, you had to switch to AM. And that was a result of a 2-foot, 3-foot antenna made of aluminum, probably, or some pot metal on the hood of our car. Well, your home is a super antenna. It's a super antenna. It's not 2 feet of aluminum. It's a mile of copper, high quality copper. So what's happening is, as the dirty electricity that A, comes from the utility, and or B, that you make, and don't blame the utility, most of us accidentally make a lot more dirty electricity in our home than the utility delivers.
Through what? Through our
devices, computers, as you've got, lighting, Wi-Fi, and the number 3. So number 1, delivered by the utility. Number 2, created in your home. Number 3, landing on this super antenna that is your electrical system.
Right.
And so there's the 3 main ways it gets there, but then do you want it to live there? Do you want it to live at waist high or knee high? When you lie in bed, most of us put our pillows on the side of the bed that's touching the wall. Well, it's almost the exact height, within a foot or 2 of where the electricity is moving through that wall. So imagine now that you lay your head down right by these electrical lines that are coursing with dirty electricity at 60 hertz. If it is bad for you, if that's true, you don't want to put your face by it for 7 hours.
Okay, you're scaring me.
I'm scaring myself.
Well, it is true. And you wonder why our incidence of cancer has gone through the roof. This is at least a piece of it in my puzzle here. Now, everybody's wondering, okay, well, this is all great knowledge, but it is scary. What can I do about it? And let's move to the next slide to talk about that, because you have some solutions.
We do. I'm going to brag for a moment. I know it's not becoming, but I'm going to do it because I'm really proud of our team. We have some of the best engineers, definitely the best engineers that we could find in Western Montana. Our lead engineer has a PhD in engineering from MIT. I don't know that it gets any better than that in the U.S. The guys at Caltech might say so. We have a second engineer, Brian Havlovic, that has made incredible brushless motors that even to this day power the Tesla automobile, a larger version of that. And Brian Jackson, who's done over $1 billion in megawatt wind turbines. All 3 of those gentlemen are on staff here. And we've spent the better part of a decade designing a really unique line of power conditioners. Power conditioner is the engineering word for an electric filter. The electric filter is going to want to remove an abnormality, a transient, a spike, something that is outside the parameter of the specific amount of electricity in phase and in current and in frequency that your device wants. And so that would exclude harmonics, distortion, and the things that you and I call dirty electricity. So what did I say there? We've got some of the finest filtering products for electricity that are available on the market today in any country at any price. And I mean that sincerely and from the heart.
Now, what we use here in the office is the one on the left here, the plug-in unit, simply because we're in a large space and I'm not going to have access to the power panel. The one on the right is the one, the best one. Does it have 16 capacitors in it or something like that?
Yeah, so I'll be careful saying best. It has more guts, but really the base set of the technology is the same. And there's a lot of ways to get there. So some products, name brand that a lot of your customers have heard, use a 20 or 30 microfarad capacitor. It's a fixed state, it's a fixed value, and then you would plug those in or sprinkle those around the house. Some use a magnetic choke. It's almost like breakwater for a bay or a breakwater for a lake property. Some use harmonic rectifiers, which is a very small kind of nano filter. Others use resistors. I mean, anytime you plug in a curling iron or you turn on your stove or plug in your clothes iron, you lower the dirty electricity in your home. You do. It's an effective way, but it's not an efficient way. Well, what's that mean? It's like a jet engine.
Electricity, right?
Yeah, they use a ton of electricity. So it's an expensive way to get there. And so our product is a combination of those technologies, very small, staged capacitor banks, harmonic rectifiers, and varistors. We do all three in one, with the outcome being a superior result that doesn't increase your bill, but actually lowers your bill. And we're the only product that we are aware of. There might be somebody out there. I don't want to be disingenuous. We're the only product that we know that effectively filters the electricity and protects your home from surges, and in most cases lowers your power bill, oftentimes significantly.
We've had multiple patients tell us that they noticed that their power bill went down when they plugged in the units.
Lovely.
So it's very nice. So we sell the ones on the left there as a set. That's how we sell them in our clinic, because to my knowledge, you need one on each side of your panel box, the wires that are coming out. Is that correct?
You do. So when you buy the product, inside the instruction manual explains how you get each of the phases. So in residential power, it's called single phase. Well, that's not correct. There's two phases. So why something with two phases was named single phase, I'm not sure. But you have two phases. You have 120 volts coming from A, which should be half of your outlets. You have 120 volts coming on B, which should be the other half of your outlets. And sometimes you see a breaker that has two levers, two poles, P-O-L-E, not P-U-L-L. And you're getting 120 from A plus 120 from B, and that's your 240. That's the only difference between 120 and 240. Are you grabbing one of the wires, or are you grabbing two of the wires? Yep. And that's the difference.
Two slots, yeah.
Two slots. So we've got to get one of the units. We call that unit the EMF eliminator. We've got to get one on an A and one on a B, and then you have full home protection. And it's not, I always tell people, if you plug them in two different outlets, there's a 50% chance you did it perfectly.
Right.
If you put them in two different rooms, you're at like an 80% chance you get it right accidentally. So it's not hard. It's not a mystery. We don't want anybody to be afraid that they wouldn't do it properly. Yeah. We'll make sure they do it right.
Well, we're very happy with ours, and we measured our, we have a plug-in meter that we could measure the dirty electricity from each outlet. And in the clinic here, we went from a reading of like 650 or something down to 40 when we plugged these in. So that was really fun to see. I can't remember what my home one was at now, but I was more concerned about the clinic here because it was just, every office has Wi-Fi and it's an older building. And so you just have more issues. So dealing with EMFs is a struggle, I think, for a lot of people because you can't see them. We had really a fun time today because I purchased a new little EMF meter, and we were measuring EMFs coming out of all our phones and our computer devices and stuff, and we have a little phone EMF blocker, and so we could measure how well it was working, and it was pretty cool to see it work well. So it's neat to be able to show patients that you can measure the decrease in the dirty electricity and EMF function by using devices like this, because nobody wants to get scammed. So, we appreciate your input. We appreciate your work. And I just hope more people could get this. These are for sale. If you're watching this video and you're a patient of ours, just go to our store. If you're not a patient of ours, go to our website and you can buy these too just by clicking on where the big red arrow is on the top of our website. It says store, and then search for EMF, because I have it listed as EMF Home Protector, and the plug-in sets or the wired sets. You can purchase it right off our website. Vidya, thank you so much for coming on. I do hope that you'll take me up on another invite to talk about some other things and other products that you have. Any last words?
You know, the only last words are, you know, I want to thank you for the time. And I want to encourage everybody, please buy these from Dr. Connor's store. Sometimes people think maybe it might be easier to call Factory Direct. We're not a store. We love you. We want to help you. But we're not a store. We don't have a cash register. We're a factory. We ship these in large containers. Dr. Connors buys them in bulk and keeps a nice inventory. And therefore, his price that he's offering to you is going to be better, actually, than any price we could give you, because we would ask that you would buy a carton or a container. So please don't get creative and try and call the Factory Direct. We're just not set up for it. Dr. Connors has gone to a lot of work and a lot of research to set up this website and get you great pricing. Please use that resource. Also, he's going to have them in stock where you'd save on shipping potentially and some other things if you live in this area, or he could get them right out to you. So I just want to make sure that people follow the proper channels in trying to get our distributed goods. And that's it.
Well, thank you very much. These are free shipping if anybody wants to know.
There you go.
Thank you again, and we will talk again hopefully very soon.
We look forward to it. Thanks, Don.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.